10 years ago today, 19 terrorists hijacked 4 airplanes, and in an instant, 2,977 innocent victims lost their lives. To all who sacrificed that day, from Ground Zero to the Pentagon, to the heroic passengers on Flight 93 in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, the NFL remembers. On this anniversary, we honor those brave men and women by continuing to show our unity and strength as a country as we pay tribute to their memory.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so streaming, and the rockets ringing, your bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner
degrees here in Chicago, down to the field, and Tony Siragusa.
Thanks, Kenny. You know, 2 big question marks today for me. It's the offensive line for both of these teams. The Falcons have 2 first-time starters, Joe Hawley and Garrett Reynolds, center and right guard. And the Bears, they got Roberto Garza. He's the new center for them. And they have a right rookie tackle listen, as a defensive lineman, you're always looking for that weakness. And trust me, today, these guys are going to get tested.
Thanks very much, Goose. A look at Mike Smith in his 4th season as head coach of the Falcons. They won the NFC South a season ago. Record of 13-3. As Darryl mentioned during our open, Falcons were the #1 seed in the NFC.
Yeah, but a very disappointing loss to the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs, a team that beat Lovie Smith and the Chicago Bears the following week in the championship game.
On this 10th anniversary of 9/11, a stirring rendition of our national anthem here in Chicago by Jim Cornelison.
Well, we had an opportunity to listen to Jim sing the anthem last year, the divisional round, the Seattle game here in Chicago. He did it again at the championship game. I'm hard-pressed to think of somebody who does a better rendition of the national anthem.
If you don't get the chills when he sings the national anthem, you don't have a pulse.
Bears fans are ready. Chicago has won the toss. Rookie Matt Bosher will kick off from the 35-yard line for the Falcons. There's one of the best all-time, Devin Hester.
Now, we've got 2 great returners, Devin Hester and Eric Weems, the Pro Bowl representative for the Falcons last year. Interested to see if they get a little bit of flexibility to bring this ball out of the end zone if it's deep. He's coming out.
Hester stumbles out across the 25-yard line. And Hockley, our referee this afternoon.
Illegal formation by the kicking team. Number 34 was behind the 30-yard line before the ball was kicked. 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
It's one of the rules that's a part of this new kickoff scenario in the NFL that I think kind of balances it out a little bit. Now, back when they were kicking off from the 30, you could be back as far as you wanted to. You could catch a running start. You had guys going full speed as they crossed that line at the kick. Now they move it up to the 35. You can only be 5 yards back. This penalty, that player was outside that 5-yard barrier, so they throw the flag on him. But I think that that's one of the things that offsets why Jimmy Johnson has talked about throughout the course of the preseason and in the pregame today, that he thinks you're going to see returns. Guys are going to relax a little bit because all of a sudden the ball continues to be kicked out of the end zone. You've got to pay attention when you have a Devin Hester or you have an Eric Weems back there running that kick out.
Obi Mahaley, the guilty Falcon. No kicking team player can line up more than 5 yards from the kicking line, in this case the 35. So Bosher will now set up from the 30. And his teammates, all 10, must have their foot on the 25. So here we go, another opportunity for Hester, this time from the goal line. Hester upended at the 23. As Jay Cutler in his 3rd season with the Bears leads the Chicago offense out.
A lot of people say that Jay Cutler came in better shape, a better understanding, obviously, of the system, did a lot of work in the offseason on his own. We all know about the lockout, the fact that they didn't have OTAs. He wasn't around the coaches, but he was criticized about his leadership qualities after that game last year and how that whole game went and transpired. He's trying to win back his teammates this year with his work ethic.
1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. The handoff to Matt Forte. And he is hit for a loss back at the 20 by the combination of Sean Weatherspoon and Curtis Lofton.
One of the things that Mike Martz told us is just dramatically increased talent in the personnel on the offensive side of the ball. He said his wide receivers are leap years ahead of where they were last year. Great understanding of the whys of this offense. And here's the group that Tony's concerned with. Only one player, Chris Williams, the left guard, playing the same position that he was in last year.
3 wide receivers set on 2nd and 13. This is Hester. Hester loses the football and then bounces on it at the 26. A gain of 6. 3rd down and 7 upcoming.
Well, an interesting situation here with Beret Jerry getting the start for Corey Peters at the defensive tackle spot. This Atlanta Falcons first-team defense has yet to play together this season. Ray Edwards, the big addition on the front there to help Jonathan Abraham bring pressure. Their concern still is defending the pass. This group here in the secondary, we'll see how they hold up against this Mike Martz offense.
Bears must get to the 33. Cutler under pressure, wide open. Roy Williams, his first catch as a Bear, the former Lion and Cowboy. It's good for a Chicago first down, gain of 23.
One of the things this offense will do is it challenges guys with route control. You're going to move people out of the way. Watch the bunch coming at them. They're going to try and confuse coverage. All of a sudden, you got two guys going deep, and there's Roy Williams in that little voided area.
Williams signals first down. Two tight ends from midfield. Earl Bennett in motion. At Forte. Bottled up once again. Good pressure from Weatherspoon.
Matt Forte will be the key to this offense. We've started this game talking about Jay Cutler, talking about the wide receivers, second year in Mike Martz's system. All that's for naught if Matt Forte is not able to run the ball effectively. He's the key to this. Atlanta knows it. They talked about the first person they have to stop. The number one concern for them is not allowing Matt Forte to get going in the running game, and also the passing game. Chicago is a very good screen team.
Forte tied for the team lead in receptions last year. Three wide receivers set, second down and 10. Cutler, pump fake. Now he throws. It was deflected, intended for Bennett. Deflected by Brent Grimes, and then nearly picked off by Thomas Deku.
He's got Earl Bennett coming right up the seam. On the release right there, trying to fit it in. Great undercut by Brent Grimes. Thomas Deku, I don't know what happened to him. He must have just changed the flight a little bit. I really thought that this was going to be intercepted on the deflection. Maybe Earl Bennett affected him as he came across.
Jay Cutler doing a great job of getting rid of that ball earlier. Really helping out that offensive line. They're doing a great job so far. Keep an eye out.
Now third down and 10. Goose Bears must get to the 40. Cutler steps up, wide open. Forte, first down and more. Forte finally ran down at the 26-yard line by Deku after a 23-yard pickup.
Kenny, you just mentioned how productive Matt Forte was in the passing game. So in a man situation, you would think he'd be one of the guys you wouldn't lose track of. They had every receiver going downfield, so you've got back to the ball coverage, which means in man-to-man situation, I'm not looking at Jay Cutler. I don't know what's happening behind me. There's Matt Forte, sneaks out right into that voided area, wide open to be able to convert that third down.
From the 27 on first down. Cutler hits Forte once again. This time short gain, 3 to the Falcons 24.
Well, you can see the efficiency of this offense to start this game, and it's one of the things that everybody talked about when we visited with them on Friday. Overall, just, number one, a dramatic increase in the personnel. They just feel that they're so much better in certain areas than they were last year. The maturity, some other things that came in, but also the efficiency of this system, knowing it the second year, understanding the concepts that Mike Martz is teaching.
Second down and 7, the quick flip to Dane Sonsenbacher, rookie out of Ohio State. Time for a game break. Take it away, Kurt Menefee.
Quickest score of the season already. Joe Flacco hooking up with Anquan Bolden, 27-yard score. It was set up by a 36-yard Ray Rice run. And a minute 13 in the game, Baltimore led Pittsburgh 7-0. How's that for a quick score? Kenny Moose and Goose?
Well, I think the key for Baltimore this year, kind of getting over that hump and being a presence in the AFC, is the play of Joe Flacco. So he's off to a great start here week 1.
Bears have converted on their first 2 third down attempts. Cutler to Forte once again. Well, he's forced out of bounds about 4 yards shy of the marker by Weatherspoon, and the Bears will send out the field goal unit.
Hey, Tony, one of the things that Curtis Lofton told us about was how fast he feels this team is, and you can really see it on this opening drive. They are unbelievable in pursuit.
Yeah, they just had a couple breakdowns there in that first series, but they are running to the ball. They changed it up a little bit. Usually they bring four pass rushers on that last play. They only brought 3, so they're trying to help out that secondary a little bit more today.
All right, Goose, here's Robbie Gould from the right hash, 41-yard attempt. New holder Adam Podlesh, who places it down. And Gould's kick gives the Bears a 3-0 lead. Back in Chicago as we begin year 18 of the NFL on Fox. Bears leading the Falcons 3-0. Number 14 on the left, Eric Weems, Pro Bowl kick returner for the Falcons. It appears all 10 Bears, Darrell, have at least 1 foot on the 30.
They want to make 2 long runs down that field.
And the kickoff by Gould sails through the end zone. So our first touchback of the day, no opportunity for a return by Eric Weems. Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons start from their own 20-yard line. 2 tight ends. Michael Turner in the backfield, led the NFC in rushing a season ago. This is Turner out to the 23-yard line. Israel Idonije made the tackle.
Well, obviously, the big talk this year for the Atlanta Falcons, that big draft day deal they made to go up and get Julio Jones. Now they're trying to become a more explosive offense. They were very good last year, marching the ball down the field. This big offensive line blocking for Michael Turner. 10-play drives, 70-yard drives, very effective in that. But they need more of those splash plays, those big chunks on the outside. They think Julio Jones can provide that for them.
Jones, bottom of the screen. Ronnie White split out to the left. On 2nd and 7, Ryan looking White's way, and White picks up a first down out to the 34, the NFL's leading receiver in 2010.
And this is a great opportunity for this Falcons offense to compete against a defense that knows all too well how to guard an explosive offense. Last year against Green Bay, 3 games, 17 points, 10 points, and 14 points. So you can roll a bunch of weapons at them, but there's Bears defense is not going to flinch.
Falcons in the hurry up. Here's Turner. And Turner takes it out to the 43-yard line, finally brought down by Brian Urlacher. Ball respotted at the 42-yard line, 2nd down and 1. Off the play fake. Ryan complete to White out of the 45 for a Falcons first down.
And that's one of the things you're going to be able to feed off, Tony, when you've got a strong running game. And Matt Ryan was excited to see what he was going to be able to do with that play action. I know it's something you're going to be watching.
Absolutely. You know, if that run game sets everything up.
Holding by the defense, number 30, before the pass was thrown. 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
DJ Moore.
Well, this is what happens. You know, you're going to be in coverage, you're going to find somebody, and then all of a sudden, a little shake right there. He's by you. Hey, I thought run. You give him a little tug. First down.
3 wide receivers set. The Falcons keep it on the ground with Turner. Not much. And Toledo leading the way for the Bears on defense.
It looked like Michael Turner really had to cut to the outside. Huge hole, and decides to make cut back into to his left side where everybody was. I didn't understand that, Darrell.
Chris Harris, number 46, dropping down late, Tony.
Empty backfield, 2nd and 10. Ryan complete. Harry Douglas into Bears territory. Time for another game break. Kurt.
And another quick score. The Rams' first play from scrimmage of the year. They give it to Steven Jackson. Why not? 47 yards later, it's good for 7, and they lead the Eagles 7-0. Kenny Moose and Goose.
I tell you what, I just think you better watch out for those St. Louis Rams this year. I think they're poised to have a breakout season under Sam Bradford.
Ryan on 3rd the 11-time Pro Bowler, the tight end, Tony Gonzalez, for another Falcons first down.
And this is one of the things that Julio Jones is going to help with this offense. Who are you going to double? How are you going to defend all these weapons? You're going to get Tony Gonzalez in one-on-one situations. You've got a quarterback who'll stand in the pocket and take hits like that to deliver the ball.
On the Bears 37, this is Jason Snelling, his first carry. And Snelling gains a yard down to the 36, brought down by Lance Briggs.
They're getting through that offensive line, Tony. They're penetrating.
Yes, they are. And you knew they were going to challenge that offensive line.
Falcons continue in the hurry-up, not huddling. They led the entire league in offensive plays last year. Here's Douglas once again, his second reception. And Douglas takes it down to the 33-yard line. Tim Jennings, the tackle.
A really quick pace here for that Atlanta Falcons offense. You know, Darryl, watching these guys, when the Bears are bringing four, they're doing a good job. But they're bringing the safeties from the outside, and they're not getting picked up. So Matt Ryan's having to get the ball out a lot faster than I think he wants to.
From the 33 goes third down and 6. Catch is made by Julio Jones, but not enough. Not enough for a first down. Charles Tillman, the first Bear, to wrap up the #1 pick out of Alabama.
Working out on the outside, on the top, against Charles Tillman. Charles Tillman does a great job. You know, he knows the down and distance. He's not going to do anything foolish. Keep that receiver in front of you, make a sure tackle, keep him short.
I thought they were going to go for it there.
Yeah, it looked like they were thinking about it, Goose, and now they send out the field goal unit. Matt Bryant, it will be a 48-yard attempt. Play clock winding down. Falcons offense is out on the field for a while. From the left hash, Bryant's first attempt of the season is just inside the left upright. So Matt Bryant connects from 48, and we are tied at 3. Beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Chicago, following a 10-play drive by the Bears, culminating in a field goal. Falcons match Chicago. Another opportunity here for Devin Hester.
One of the things that Atlanta was very good at last year was the 10-play drive, but actually surprising for Chicago is one of the areas that they struggled in. They're not very good at 10-play drives, 70-yard drives. They rely on that defense and special teams to get them short fields.
See what Hester can do from the 2. Penalty flag. Hester out to the 28. 2 flags during the return.
During the return, holding by the receiving team number 20. Half the distance to the goal. Chicago keeps the ball. First down.
Greg Stelz, the guilty Bear. Following the Bears and the Falcons, America's Game of the Week. Many of you will see the Giants and the Redskins. It's coming up next. America's Game of the Week right here on Fox. Former Bear starting at quarterback for the Redskins this afternoon. Rex Grossman.
Won the big duel against John Beck during the course of training camp and preseason.
Current Bears quarterback Jay Cutler, 5 for 6 during the opening drive, handing it off to Matt Forte, gains 2 out to the 11. Curtis Lofton, along with Sean Weatherspoon, brought him down.
I'm going to be interested to see how this offensive line holds up. They are such a big group, and one of the points that that Lovie Smith made to us, you know, we look good getting off the bus. I mean, this is a huge offensive line, 2 huge tight ends. So watch for the Bears to try and get onto the edge. Even though this Atlanta defense is very quick, very fast in pursuit, they feel that they can get on the edge with the blocking of those big tight ends.
High hopes for Kellen Davis, now the starting tight end, number 87. Quick slant to Earl Bennett as we check in once again with Kurt.
Well, the Lions are picked by many to make the playoff this year, but they better straighten this out. Off the fingertips of Will Heller into the hands of Aqib Talib. Takes it back 28 yards. Defensive touchdown. Puts the Bucs on top, 10-3. That was still in the first quarter. Kenny Moose and Goose.
That's going to be an interesting game here in week 1. A lot of people looking at Detroit, and a lot of people wanting to know if Tampa Bay can build on what they did last year when they had 10 wins.
In that tough NFC South, the Falcons and the Saints. Cutler moving to his right, and then he throws it away. No flag was thrown.
No. We got our first pressure here.
Also one-on-one on Karimi.
Yep. Gets to the outside. Ball thrown. I think he's got a legitimate break there. Now remember, the targeting, they're trying to change the targeting this year, so that might have been a helmet that was a little low coming in on Jay Cutler.
Podlesh looking for the first time as a Bear. Taken out the 35 by Weems. Weems out to the 43, a return of 8. So a good field position for the Falcons. Cutler not very happy. Back in Chicago, Jay Cutler not happy with the hit from Stephen Nicholas. Falcons start from their own 43-yard line. Off the play fake on first down. Diving catch by Julio Jones in Bears territory for an Atlanta first down.
This is a great sell by Matt Ryan on the play fake to get everybody to move up a little bit. So you've got that room behind the linebackers. Get that ball out there. Show it to everybody so they can see it. You've got Brian Urlacher right there, 54. He's in tight. He elevates to try and get it. But that creates that separation between the line. You get those linebackers stepped up, and you slip your wide receiver into that void.
Matt Ryan 6 for 6. Pump fake, dumps it off. He's now 7 for 7. Turner hit by Briggs. Gain of 9.
They found something that they liked on film with Chicago in a hurry-up situation, because here we go to start this drive again. A little quick pace, no huddle.
From the Bears 35. Ryan picked off by Urlacher.
That's an athletic interception by Brian Urlacher, but it's also a very smart play, because on a boot, very often you get the same route combination. You're going to get flat here, go on the outside, and then you're going to get a drag across. Brian Urlacher just running stride for stride underneath the tight end. Look at the athleticism right there. He knows where Tony Gonzalez is going to be. He sees that boot, and he just gets into that throwing lane.
19th career interception for Urlacher. Bears first and 10 from the 28. Cutler in trouble. Down he goes. Back at the 19-yard line. Vance Walker along with John Abraham.
And we talk about Ray Edwards right here. Watch him on the outside. One-on-one on Gabe Karimi, just going, and that's just a bull rush. That penetration right there will disrupt any quarterback right in his face. Karimi right now, they're trying to settle in here, this Atlanta Falcons defense. I think they have something, and they're going after Gabe Karimi, the rookie right tackle.
Karimi, first-round pick out of Wisconsin, loss of 9 on the sack. Now 2nd and 19. Cutler fires wide open. Johnny Knox for a Bears first down out to the 45-yard line. Knox gains 24.
Well, everybody benefits when you've been in a system for a couple years. Quarterbacks, wide receivers, great release right there to get away from Dante Robinson. As soon as he makes that break inside, the ball is there. On the back shoulder, nice catch by Johnny Knox on this. If Jay Cutler can get that out in front and allow him to keep running, maybe some yards after catch.
Now that's the 3rd completion for Cutler in this first quarter of at least 23 yards.
He said, you know, I feel more comfortable. I'm not thinking. And you're able to go back, and a phrase you'll hear in this offense is turn the ball loose, and that's what he's been doing today.
Off the fake reverse. This is Forte into Falcons territory. Another first down. Forte still on his feet. Matt Forte takes it all the way for a Bears
Looking to slip him right out here on a screen. We talked about it before. They are a very, very good screen team. Tyler Klutz with a good block on the outside. And then a missed tackle by Sean Weatherspoon. I mean, I see it more and more at this level. Watch at the end of this run. There's no wrap. I'm just going to come over and hit him and try and push him out of bounds. You're not going to push Matt Forte out of bounds. You better get down around his legs and wrap him up.
They're the little things we always talk about, Darryl. Wrap up on the tackle.
Gold with the extra point. The interception by Brian Urlacher sets up the Bears' first touchdown of the season. 56 yards from Cutler to Forte as we head west to Los Angeles. Another game break. Here's Kurt.
Well, things going badly for Sam Bradford here. He gets stepped on coming away from the line of scrimmage, fumbles the football. Jaquay Parker picks it up, rumbles 56 yards for the score. And the Eagles have put together 14 unanswered to lead the Rams 14-7. Kenny Moose and Goose.
With all the talk about the dream team, the Philadelphia Eagles offense, a defensive touchdown.
But Philadelphia's always had great defense. You know, in my opinion, it's always been overlooked. I mean, when I think about Philadelphia, I always think about defense, whether it was Buddy Ryan back when I was playing, Jim Johnson and the great defenses he had there. And, you know, this is that first year. You know, we've got a new defensive coordinator in Philadelphia, and I was actually impressed with how they played in preseason. They're very aggressive. They're going to have plays like that, turning the ball over, scoring touchdowns, and a smart heads-up play by the Philadelphia defender who was near Sam Bradford and held on, didn't let him back up to try and recover that fumble.
And the new defensive coordinator for the Eagles is their longtime offensive line coach, Juan Castillo.
Getting back to his roots, back when he first started out as a linebacker coach and a D coordinator back in college.
So the Eagles lead the Rams 14-7. Bears leading the Falcons here 10-3. Two Chicago kickoffs, two touchbacks as Weems takes it in. Well, the NFL is holding a special auction to benefit 9/11 charities. Autographed game-worn jerseys from today's game, along with today's game ball and other unique NFL items, will be auctioned to raise money for Tuesday's Children and My Good Deed. Visit NFL.com/auction today to bid on items.
What a great idea to raise some money for these 9/11 charities. You know, got a couple of first-time starters out there. A good chance to get a Gabe Carimi game-worn first official NFL start jersey out there, people. Let's drive up that price.
Have you put in a bid on it, Goose?
I got the first bid there.
There's Ryan. Gonzalez makes the catch for a Falcons first down. Takes it all the way to midfield. 30 yards from Ryan to Tony Gonzalez.
I tell you, I've been impressed with Matt Ryan so far today, just standing in the face of pressure. Chicago again, right there, taking a hit afterwards, but able to get the ball down the field. Big play to Tony Gonzalez.
Ryan now 8 for 9. His only incompletion was the interception by Urlacher. There's the 10 from midfield. Here's Turner. Michael Turner loses the football. It's down at the bottom of the pile. No signal yet from the officials. Bears have recovered. The second Falcons turnover of this first quarter.
Michael Turner looks like he's got it tucked away pretty good, but Charles Tillman just gets a hand in there and punches it out. And this is something that the Chicago defense does on a regular basis. It's a function of the dynamic of this team. Special teams and creating turnovers create short fields for this offense. And it was something that was missing during the preseason. There may have been a little bit of concern from Bears fans. Not a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Not a lot of turnovers through preseason. But it doesn't faze these guys. We talked to Brian Urlacher on Friday. He's like, listen, we don't game plan a lot. We're not showing a lot of the things that we're going to show during the course of the season. We know the pressures and the sacks will come. We know we're going to take the ball away. That's what we do.
First guy wraps up. The next guy comes in, attack the ball.
And then it's Julius Peppers who comes in and is credited with the recovery. Charles Tillman forced it. Cutler and the Bears from their own 40. And pass intended for the tight end. We mentioned him earlier. High hopes for Kellen Davis this season.
Yes, not only as a blocker. Now, we mentioned them as blockers on the edge, but Kellen Davis, you know, Mike Marcy goes, this guy's athleticism at 6'7", 267 pounds. I mean, you saw an example of it right there. He almost made a great catch. Again, Brent Grimes undercutting, being very aggressive, but he almost was able to pull that ball in.
Second and 10. Khalil Bell now in the backfield for Chicago. And this is Bell. Was not dressed for a game at all last season. Marion Barber not active today. Bears hope to have Barber back next week. Back up to Matt Forte as the first quarter comes to an end. Bears force 2 Falcon turnovers. Lead 10-3. Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. We start the second quarter in Chicago. Bears lead 10-3. Falcons defensive tackle Jonathan Babineau shaken up on the last play of the first quarter, replaced by Vance Walker. Third down and 8. Hester in motion. Butler steps up and is driven down by John Abraham.
John Abraham gets an unbelievable takeoff on the ball. Watch here on the right side of your screen. Gets upfield. Cutler does a great job of stepping up, but he doesn't give up. He goes right after him. Marcus Webb, man, he really got the jump on him, and he knows it. I think he's letting him know that right now, Derek. You see that move right there? I see you.
Orgus was his signaling his second sack. Podlish punting from his own 28. Williams will let it bounce. And it will take a Bears roll.
Come on, Eric Weems. You can't let that punt hit the ground. Got to hustle up there and field it.
Down at the 4. 57 yards on the punt and roll. Well, it's the season's most anticipated new series, the X Factor. Now is your chance to see the competition unfold as Fox presents an exclusive 8-minute preview. See the amazing talent and hear their incredible stories tonight, right after your late game. America's Game of the Week only on Fox.
Would you consider Tony our X Factor?
Absolutely. There's Jonathan Babineau holding the Haley. Heading in for repairs.
That's a tough hit right there for the Falcons. One of the best down linemen and one of the toughest guys on the offense.
Haley's their only fullback. So a one-back set with Turner as he takes the handoff with the Haley leading the way. The Haley a Pro Bowler last year. And Turner gains a yard out to the 5.
We probably won't see it on this drive, Tony, but are you surprised that we're not seeing more? I mean, we hear all about this, you know, explosive plays. We're going down the field. We're going to be aggressive today. Coming out of the gate, we're going to, we're going to use all these weapons.
They set us up there.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of standard Atlanta Falcons offense right now.
Yeah, run the ball, a lot of short throws. You know, I'm really surprised they're not trying to stretch the field. You go and you pick up a Julio Jones. I mean, I want to see him on a 9 route.
Guys, Jason Snelling comes in to play fullback for Mahaley. Ryan throwing out of the end zone to Snelling. And Snelling gains just 2 as we check in once again with Kurt.
Buffalo thinks they're putting together a good young team. Looks like it. Ryan Fitzpatrick up to a jumping Stevie Johnson 27-yard touchdown. And they lead it in Kansas City at the end of the first quarter, 14-0. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Good start for the Bills. Chiefs division winners a year ago.
I think very similar to what we talked about with Tampa Bay in the NFC. Can Kansas City match that season from a year ago?
Ryan on 3rd down and 6 in trouble, and he is sacked inside the 1-yard line. Henry Melton with his first sack of the season.
They got pressure from all over, the inside, the outside. This pocket just collapses. You can't step up. That's what happens when you get that pressure in the middle, those defensive tackles. Matt had to look down to make sure he wasn't in the end zone for his safety.
About as close you can get, Goose. Matt Bosher, the rookie, 6th-round pick out of the University of Miami, set up deep in the end zone. Hester takes it at the 44, lost it, regains. Inside the 40, the 35. Finally tackled at the Falcons 30.
That is vintage Chicago Bear football. Your defense does a great job. Well, actually starts off with special teams, getting you down to the 4. Then your defense comes out, makes a stop. You force them to punt out of their own end zone.
Looks like his hand comes up there. I thought it was a fair catch signal.
Yeah, he got lucky with that one. He did have it up high, but probably shielding the sun. But again, now here comes special teams back out, and they get you the ball on the 30-yard line. So that's just vintage Chicago Bears, the way they function as a team. Special teams gets the offense backed up. Defense comes out, makes the stop. Special teams again with a return. You're 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Who needs 10 plays and 70-yard drives?
Devin talks about the sun.
Yeah, looks like it was the sun.
From the Atlanta 30, here's Forte. Cuts to the outside. And gains 6 down to the 24.
I tell you right now, Tony, this Atlanta defense has to make a stop. They've got obviously generate a turnover, get a takeaway here, but I mean, you better hold them to 3. You can't let Chicago go in and get another touchdown here.
Well, fundamentally, they don't look sound at all, Darryl. They're not wrapping up. I mean, they're running to the ball. We talked about it earlier, but these guys got to go and wrap up. I mean, you got to tackle. You got to, I'm not seeing that right now. They're running to the ball, but they're not wrapping up or attacking the ball to get turnovers like the Bears defense is doing right now.
2nd and 4, Roy Williams. After a 21, gain of 3. How much of the non-tackling do you think has to do with no team activities throughout the summer, shorter training camp, and fewer practices and pads?
Well, I've seen poor tackling the last couple of years in the NFL, and I know they had the lockout and missed their OTAs and had a crazy work schedule coming in, but tackling has been an issue in my opinion for a while. Now fundamentally, I think subtly in the offensive and defensive line, hand placement, pad level, some things like that, we could see it a while before the teams adjust to the things that they're doing and getting back to some good fundamentals. But tackling, I think has been an issue the last couple of years.
And just having pads on once a week as a team is going to be a big factor.
On 3rd down, there he is, Kellen Davis, the big target, the 6'7" tight end. Caught only 1 pass all of last season, and Davis picks up a 1st down.
Well, if there's going to be one guy that you want to go and have your whole defense run to and make sure you wrap up, it's Davis. He's a huge target. There he goes. He turns. Boom. You got to gang tackle this guy. Look, he had 3 guys on him, and he was still up.
Guys, a new Chicago right guard prior to that last play. Lance Lewis shaken up, replaced by Chris Spencer, a longtime Seahawk. First and goal from the 10. Cutler is sacked for the 3rd time. He was sacked 52 times last year, most of the NFL, and this time it is Croy Bierman.
The Atlanta Falcons, they can roll out some pass rushers on you. Croy Bierman, number 71, right here, working on Gabe Karimi again. Gets him upfield, shoves him by, comes underneath him.
Gabe Karimi, sorry, Darryl, but he opens the gate. See how he turns his shoulders, and his shoulders are perpendicular to the line of scrimmage? When you do that, you have a soft corner on the outside. You can't do that. You have to try and stay square as much as you can and not give him that inside lane to come back inside and put pressure on cover.
Butler on 2nd and goal, fires, end zone, deflected, and nearly picked off again. 2nd opportunity for Deku.
Wow.
Thomas Deku, man, he had an opportunity there.
That's 2 he's missed. He had one early to set a tempo on a deflection by Brent Grimes. He's got another one here. An ill-advised throw by Jay Cutler. Again, Brent Grimes is playing very, very aggressive now. He might have gotten there a little bit early, but that is such a huge play for Thomas Deku to make. You're keeping points off the board. We talked about it as this drive started at the 30-yard line. Number 1, let's get a takeaway. Number 2, we got to hold him to a field goal.
And now with the play clock winding down, it looked like Cutler was having trouble hearing the play, so the Bears use a timeout. Back in Chicago, 3rd and goal following the Bears timeout. Butler was asking for a flag on the previous play, and then the helmet communication cut off at 15 on the play clock, so he couldn't hear the play. Now it's Kellen Davis. He was wrapped up at the 5 and then forced back.
You got a gang tackle. We talked about it earlier, Darryl. I think everybody on the team got a hit on Davis right there, but he does not want to go down. I mean, we saw him in practice. The size of this guy is mammoth. 6'7". 1, 2, 3, 4. He's still going. Get off me. Get. Look, he's shooting them off like flies. He's having fun.
So now a 23-yard attempt. Gold hit from 41 earlier from the left hash. Atlas places it down. Robbie Gold, 2 for 2. So the Bears extend their lead. It's now 13-3 Chicago. Good start for the Bears. They forced 2 turnovers. Lead the Falcons by 10. Robbie Gold with his second field goal. Jay Cutler with a 56-yard touchdown pass to Matt Forte back in the first quarter. Game's only touchdown. Eric Weems takes it out of the end zone. Weems slips down at the 15. There's Corey Graham, one of the best in the business on special teams. Matt Ryan and the Falcons start from their own 15-yard line, trailing by 10. Play action. Ryan hits Michael Turner, and Turner up the sideline for a Falcons first down, gain of 12.
And Tony, we talked about it earlier. We aren't seeing Atlanta get people deep, and I think it's also a function of this Bears defense. Don't forget, that's one of the things that they are very, very good at. They're not going to allow those big plays over the top on that one right there. An opportunity that Matt Ryan was hoping to get that ball down the field, but a great job by that Bears secondary.
Three wide receivers set. As Ryan changes the play, Douglas in the slot. From the 27-yard line, they keep it on the ground. Big hole for Turner. And Michael Turner has a first down across the 45 to the 46-yard line. He gains 17.
He didn't even have to make a move. He's going to be coming straight at you, right to the left side. Look at that open up right in the middle. Great job by that Falcon offensive line.
Ryan Urlacher was biting. He thought it was going to be a boot to the outside. He stayed with Matt Ryan on the outside. That was his gap in the middle of the field.
San Diego, going 5-5.
Empty backfield from the 46. Pass deflected by Peppers and then caught by Julio Jones, but he loses yardage after the deflection by the 6'7" Peppers.
Yeah, that's when you want to switch to the other side. He's just too athletic. If you're going to let him go to the quarterback and then try and get a short throw, I don't know about that one.
Next time this happens, if you're Jones, do you just knock it down?
Yes, but as a playmaker, as a guy who's been brought in, you want the ball in your hands. You're not thinking that way, being smart. You're still thinking that you can make something positive out of it.
Now on 2nd and 16, here's Turner. Fights his way back to the original line of scrimmage, so a 3rd and 10 coming up for the Falcons. Ryan still only one incompletion. It was the interception by Urlacher, which set up a Bears touchdown. Ryan on 3rd and 10, the slant intended for Roddy White. Charles Tillman on the coverage. Falcons will punt it away.
These guys are so well schooled. Charles Tillman feeling that slant the whole time, gets his arm around, gets it knocked out of Roddy White. I mean, they're playing man under with a 2-deep shell. Looks like it kind of went right through Roddy White's hands.
So for the Falcons, following their opening possession, a 10-play drive, led to a field goal. Since then, 2 turnovers, and now their second punt. Pressure from the 33. Not shielding the sun this time. Fair catch. Ball 4 by Hester at the 20. Hope you're enjoying this first Sunday of NFL football here on Fox. Bears leading by 10. Here's Matt Forte. And Forte out to the 24, pulled down from behind by Curtis Lofton.
And that was a good tackle by Curtis Lofton, because Matt Forte looked like he was about ready to get onto that sideline again for another big run. He hasn't done his damage running the football. You can see there less than 2 yards per carry, but he's had that big touchdown reception.
4 catches, 87 yards for Forte.
90, 54, 54.
Taken down at 6, runs it to his own man. And then is down at the 20. Chris Williams, the left guard, and then John Abraham, tackle.
A lot of times we get caught up talking about guys as pass rushers, but there's John Abraham showing you that he can play the run effectively as well. You're so quick off the snap, and they beat guys inside right away. He's into the backfield. No chance for Matt Forte on that one.
Doesn't matter if it's a run or a pass. Penetration hurts offenses.
Here's a terrific start to the season for Abraham. 2 sacks already today, and now a tackle for a loss. Second down and 9. Bears must get to the 30. Butler fires for a first down. Johnny Knox out to the 39-yard line. 18-yard pass play.
Well, if you can hold the ball a little bit and allow these routes to get downfield, you're going to be able to find some spots. There's Johnny Knox, number 13. Watch him break to the inside right there. Not a great job in zone coverage. Don't know where Chris Owens was going. He was running to the flat, and as soon as he moved out towards the sideline, Johnny Knox came right into that window.
Looks like they're keeping Kellen Davis in also to help Karimi with the pass rush.
There's Forte. Out to the 47. Gain of 8.
One of the things you can do to slow down that pass rush, Tony, is get this run game going a little bit more effectively. You know, don't give up on it too quick. Let these big guys up front put their hand down and just come off the ball. You see right there, only 12 yards rushing right now for Chicago.
Close it. Let's go. We can look at it. We can look at it on the monitor.
Second down and 2, and Forte has a first down into Falcons territory. We check in on the Lions and the Bucks. Kurt.
Yeah, another NFC North versus South matchup. And watch this throw by Matthew Stafford over the outreached arms of Aqib Talib and right into the hands of Calvin Johnson. 36-yard score, and the Lions have their first lead of the day, 13-10. Kenny Moose and Goose.
So a positive highlight involving Calvin Johnson in Week 1 this season.
We're at the scene of the crime right here.
Yes. There's the Lions in the season opener last year. Catch that was taken away from Calvin Johnson in the end zone. Now the toss to Khalil Bell. And Bell takes it down to the 43-yard line.
You motion in a wide receiver, but you've got to be looking to the inside, and it's hard. Like Earl Bennett right here, you got to have your eyes on this one. You know, you kind of get out there and you're looking outside, and here comes Curtis Lofton. That's where your threat is, and it's, you know, you're asking a wide receiver to come into the backfield, block on a toss sweep, and a lot of times their eyes will drift to the outside onto the perimeter, but all your big threat is going to come from that inside position.
There's almost 17 minutes with possession here in the first half as we approach the 2-minute warning. Taken down to the 41-yard line by Bell. Cutler will head to the sideline. Bears with a 10-point lead here in Chicago. Coming up, the Visa halftime report with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. They'll have scores and highlights. Fox Sports Ticker with all the latest stats. It was great having Michael and Jimmy with us during the preseason for the Falcons and the Jaguars, but now back in their home. Movement prior to the snap. Here's Ed Hockley as he tries and sorts things out.
I don't know if Parade Jerry's going to be able to sell him on this one.
Offside. Defense, number 94. 5-yard penalty. Results in a first down. I guess I have a flag down. That's my flag.
And your mic is still open.
Oh, you know what? He is right. There is a little flinch.
That's right.
Chris Spencer did move. Wow. Ray Jerry was absolutely right on that one.
Chris Spencer, who's filling in for Lance Lewis, out with an ankle injury. His return questionable. Well, first down for the Bears. A terrific pressure by Stephen Nicholas as Forte loses a couple. And the Bears use their second timeout with 1:56 remaining in this first half. Well, this October, the American League's best teams will look to their brightest stars to see which one will become the newest hero that leads them into the Fall Classic. Legends are born in October. Our exclusive coverage of the American League Championship Series begins October 8th only on Fox. Darryl, you live down in the Dallas area. Texas Rangers won the American League last year before coming to the San Francisco Giants in the World Series. Rangers will try and get back.
They should be in the mix again. The heat is finally broken down in Texas, so these guys get some of their energy back for that late season push.
Second down and 12 following the timeout. Cutler's pass is caught by Bennett at the 32-yard line. And now the Falcons use their second timeout. Well, this game was tied at 3 in the first quarter when Brian Urlacher made a diving interception of a Matt Ryan pass, leading to this. Cutler hits Forte, who takes it 56 yards for the game's only touchdown.
One of the better screen teams in the NFL, an example of that right there with Matt Forte. You think about him in the running game, but a really well-designed play. You could see how open it was on the outside there. Then some great blocking downfield by Tyler Klutz to bring Matt Forte on the long touchdown.
Come on, come on.
Cutler on 3rd and 6, and the catch is made by Roy Williams, who signals first down Chicago.
Here's a guy who struggled all preseason with production. A big catch right here and athletic. Goes up, grabs it at the highest point. He could be a huge help to this Bears offense. He's got the familiarity with Mike Martz's system from his time up in Detroit.
Williams went to a Pro Bowl playing under Martz back in 2006. He had his best year. Temple on first down to the outside. That is Dane Sanzenbacher, the undrafted rookie out of Ohio State. He led the Big Ten in touchdown receptions last year. Had a lot of offers. Lovie Smith convinced him to come to Chicago.
And he made such an impression during training camp that the Bears are carrying 6 wide receivers, into the year. Sam Hurd down today, a little nicked up as a special teams player, but Dane Sanzenbacher was so impressive that they just felt they couldn't let him go. Created a couple little packages for him here offensively. Great throw on that last play by Jay Cutler, though. An out route, and Sean Weatherspoon was in great position. That was just placed perfectly for the catch.
And now with the play clock winding down, Cutler will
Timeout
take the
Chicago.
second
That's their
Chicago
second
timeout.
It's a 30-second timeout.
So each team with 1 timeout remaining. 1:10 remaining in this first half with the Bears leading by 10 and on the move. Well, this November, Fox Sports steps into the octagon with an epic heavyweight title fight as the #1 ranked contender in the world. Junior Dos Santos squares off with undefeated world champion Cain Velasquez in the must-see live mixed martial arts event you can only catch on Fox. Dos Santos and Velasquez for the UFC Heavyweight Championship of the World. It's live Saturday, November 12th, right here on Fox. 12th play of the drive for Chicago. Second down and 4. Butler to the outside, complete to Forte. And Forte wrapped up, knocked out of bounds by Dante Robinson. About a half-yard shy of the marker, so it will be 3rd down and 1.
Offensive efficiency, Jay Cutler talked about it. I'm not thinking anymore, sorting through things. You know, as I'm going back, I feel comfortable, ready to take that next step. You can see his production today, very impressive in the first half.
Butler moving to his right on 3rd and 1, and then he throws left. And it's over the head of Davis.
He could have walked in if he caught that ball. Just no time for him to get it back.
What a great play design. And I mean, we talked about him. He's 6'7". It's hard to overthrow Kellen Davis. There is nobody over there. Nobody. Sell, 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 bail. What a great job by Jay Cutler. He does everything right but the throw. There's one guy and 3 Bears to block.
So instead, Bears will have to settle for another field goal attempt. Goal 2 for 2 today from the left hash, 26-yard attempt. It is straight through.
Kellen Davis, number 87, on the backside. You sell it, you get a little shove. Everybody takes off. You can see right there, there was nobody from Atlanta out there. That's going to be such a walk-in. So much about that offensive execution I was talking about right before that play.
Jay Cutler on that play, you know, Darryl just did a great job of selling it. He sold it too long. He never turned his back to look back and see where Davis was at, and just tried to anticipate where he might be. But you're right, he's a big target. Hard to overthrow, but that's exactly what he did.
So the Bears now lead 16-3. As we take a moment to remember those who lost their lives 10 years ago today, on September 11th, 2001. We'd like to welcome the men and women in uniform serving around the world, watching today's broadcast in 175 countries on AFN, the American Forces Network. We hope you are enjoying this afternoon's game.
And not only the people that we lost 10 years ago on September 11th, but all our military personnel that we've lost since that day defending the liberties and freedom of this country overseas.
A chance for Williams. Falcons will start at the 20 with 1 timeout in their pocket and 55 seconds on the clock. Uncharacteristically, when you think that last season the Falcons were 3rd in the league in turnover ratio, they are a -2 today.
But this is the Bears, and this is what they do. And it's part of this dynamic that this team functions on. It's driven by special teams. It's driven by takeaways on the defensive side of the ball. They don't give up big plays. They give their offense a short field. And one of the impressive things today so far has been the efficiency of this offense. They've had a 10-yard scoring drive. That last one was 13 plays when they scored, when they kicked the field goal. They just got to get some touchdowns in that red zone.
Ryan backpedaling on 1st down. Now he throws, and the catch is made by Snelling. Gains just 1. Falcons use 2 timeouts while on defense. So the clock continues to run. We approach 30 seconds. Inside handoff to Snelling. And Snelling picks up a 1st down. 25 seconds on the clock as the Falcons call timeout. And we check in once again with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt.
Hey, did Peyton Manning play defense or special teams? Everything for the Colts going wrong against Houston. This is Jacoby Jones, 79 yards on a punt return. They're not even at halftime yet, and Houston leads the Colts 34-0. 34-0, and they just got to halftime. Can he move some goose?
Wow.
I tell you what, though, to lose somebody like Peyton Manning, I don't think that there's a player in the NFL that means more to his team than Peyton Manning. So it's going to be a huge emotional letdown for the Indianapolis Colts. And some of the damage has been done on defense and special teams, but that is, you expect everybody to raise your level of play to make up for the fact that Peyton's not there, but that's going to be a tall order for those Colts.
Started the last 227. The second in games for Indianapolis. Falcons out of timeouts. Snelling out to the 38. Down to 10 seconds. As Ryder to stop the clock. 8 seconds remaining.
I don't know, Darryl, what do you think? Julio Jones on a 9 route, maybe now? 8 seconds?
Well, obviously, I would think you've got a little time to maybe try and get a quick out and stop the clock again and get you a little bit closer so you can make a throw into the end zone. Or they could try and take their shot into the end zone right here. But it looks like they're going to try and design something to get a little bit further down the field for Matt before they take their shot to the end zone.
There were no timeouts. The Donahue jumped.
Was there contact? Because that would have been a free play, correct?
He's unabated, though.
Offside, defense, number 71. 5-yard penalty. That results in a first down.
You got far enough upfield, Tony, where I think they just killed the play. So that helps them out a little bit. Maybe they can grab another little chunk here and gives you a better chance for a throw into the end zone. I wonder if they'll put Kellen Davis on defense in that situation. He'll get down here in the end zone.
Right to the outside. Snelling makes the catch and does get out of bounds. At least it looked as if he did on our clock on the Fox box, but time has run down on the field. And that will do it for the first half here in Chicago. The Visa halftime report is coming up next. Back in Chicago, follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. As we get set for the second half here in Chicago, Kenny Albert with Darryl Johnston, 16-3 lead for the Bears over the Falcons, who won 13 games a year ago. Darryl, top seed heading into the playoffs in the NFC, and we expected a lot offensively, but that has not been the case over the first 2 quarters.
No, and it's going to be a tough matchup for Atlanta to showcase any type of explosive element in their offense. Remember, this is the Chicago Bears, and the one thing they don't do is give up big plays. They're very, very well versed in this defense. It's a team defense approach. They played the Green Bay Packers 3 times last year, and 17, 10, and 14. That's one of the most explosive offenses you're going to see. We saw them on stage Thursday night throw up 42. So, Atlanta, maybe today it would have been better for them to stay with the old Atlanta style offense. Let's pound Michael Turner. Let's run some play action. Hey, yeah, we'll mix in a shot down the field, but getting into the hurry up and some of the other things, I think there must have been a fire and brimstone speech at halftime, because that's not the Atlanta Falcons offense or team in that matter that I expected to see today.
Here's Williams, who hesitated, now takes it out. And is brought down at the 12-yard line. Again, Corey Graham, there is a flag. Corey Graham makes the tackle on special teams for Chicago.
During the return, holding by the receiving team, number 81. Half the distance to the goal. Atlanta's ball, first down.
That's on Michael Palmer, so this will force the Falcons back to the 6.
So right there on Dom DeSico, Michael Palmer walking in the back.
Fullback Goldie Mahaley still out. Split backs, Turner and Snelling. Ryan from the 1-yard line throws it into the ground.
First half stats, you take a look at it. Rushing yards, only 22 for Chicago. No big deal. The big thing is turnovers. Go down to the bottom. Chicago has forced 2 turnovers. That's a function of this team. They've created short fields. Atlanta has been backed up quite a bit today, too. They have not started in good field position. They start the second half in poor field position again.
Second and 10 from the 6. Ryan throwing out of his end zone, complete to Gonzalez. Just shy of a first down. In case viewers are wondering about that final play of the first half, it looked to us as if Snelling did get out of bounds with 2 seconds remaining, but the clock operator a bit slow in stopping the clock and ran all the way down, and that is not reviewable, so the half did in fact come to an end. Now the Falcons facing a third down and about a half yard.
Timeout early in this third quarter. That's their first. It's a 30-second timeout.
We take you back to that final play of the first half, the completion from Ryan to Snelling.
And just keep an eye on your game clock down in the lower right-hand corner. And as you pointed out, Kenny, you know, it's not reviewable. And Atlanta stayed out here for a while. They wanted 2 seconds put back on the clock. So slow to stop the clock right there, but that is not reviewable. So end of the half, everybody goes in. Mike Smith wants at least 1 second back. Now he's lobbying for 2. Could be either or, but he's not going to get either one of those choices.
It still would have been a Hail Mary for the Falcons. Snelling stepped out at the Bears 48, but Smith wanted one last play, did not get it. Now 3rd and short for the Falcons following the timeout. This is Turner. Picks up a first down and much more. Chase from behind, and Turner is finally dragged down inside the 35-yard line at the 32 of Chicago as he gains 58.
I want you to watch a great block by the offensive line on the safety as the safety comes up to force this play. He's going to get Justin Blaylock. Look at that. Not many times a big old guard gets a chance to block a safety.
Not easy to block those guys.
Michael Turner, Illinois native, Bears fan as a youngster. His first regular season game here at Soldier Field. There's 50 friends and family members in attendance. Off the play fake to Chris Rogers. Pass is caught by Ronnie White. And White takes it all the way down to the Bears 21 for another Falcons first down.
There you go, Tony. We keep talking about all these explosive plays in this Atlanta offense, and it's just a good old running game that gets their biggest play of the day.
I mean, we talked about it at halftime, and you came out with it, Darryl. You know, this defense likes to keep everything in front of them. But at some point, the Atlanta Falcons have to go and challenge this defense. You know, you go and you trade the house for Julio Jones. I want to see him downfield. I want to see a big explosive play and use those weapons and try to, like, you know, take the defense of the Chicago Bears out of their comfort zone.
Well, Jones got on the field now. Tony, the handoff is to another rookie, the 5th-round draft pick out of Oregon State, Jaquiz Rogers, with Turner still on the sidelines. And Rogers was wrapped up by Brian Urlacher.
And that's exactly what this defense wants. They want you to run the ball. They want short passes so they can go solidify the tackle. We saw strips earlier in the first half. I mean, you're playing right into the Chicago Bears defense. At some point, you have to try and catch them off balance a little bit and go for that deep threat.
And Goose down with Julio Jones back in, split to the right, bottom of the screen. Play clock at 5. Here's Rogers again. Works his way down to the 21-yard line. Anthony Adams, the tackle.
We've seen that a couple times today, Tony, when they've got the personnel group out there where they're going to try and do one of those plays that you're talking about, threaten that Chicago defense down the field. They're audibling at the line. They're going back to a run. They feel that the adjustment has happened. And I think Chicago's on to that adjustment at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's almost like they're trying to set up that play action. Run the ball, away from the bite a little bit. But I think Chicago's a little bit too smart.
Ryan on 3rd and 10. It's Roddy White quieting the crowd. Falcons pick up a first down.
So when they're going to play everything in front of them, you've got to be able to find these little openings in the zone. Major Wright a little bit late getting there. Good sell by Roddy White. He showed him that he was going to go to the corner, then snapped it off real quick. Pretty good execution by the Falcons there on that play.
14-yard pickup. Michael Turner back in the game. 1st and goal from the Chicago 7. Turner loses a yard.
Chicago's defensive line has been impressive all afternoon. Both phases, you know, against the run. They've been getting pressure on Matt Ryan with just their 4 D linemen.
Defensive coordinator. 2nd and goal from the 8. Ryan on the slant. Looking for White. Tillman got a piece of it.
Boy, he's played a heck of a game. He has been in everybody's hip pocket. Look at this one. A quick slant, double slants on the outside. Look at him get that arm in there to deflect that ball. Great break. Great aggressive play by Charles Tillman.
3rd and goal. Ryan off his back foot. Intended for Snelling. Nick Reed on the coverage.
Who said those defensive ends can't cover?
Yep. Get that little zone scheme. He goes to the inside move. What a great heads-up play. That's a game, Tony. It looked like Nick Reed. It was not a zone drop. It looked like he was going to go inside on a twist with Matt Tawina, and then all of a sudden he saw Jason Snelling release, jumped on him in coverage.
For a 25-yard attempt for Bryant. Falcons started this drive back on their own 6. They moved the ball 87 yards thanks to that long run by Turner, and Bryant connects for the 2nd time today. Nick Reed celebrating after his big play. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa back in Chicago. The Falcons drive 87 yards but come away with only 3 points.
Well, both of these defenses really tightening things up in the red zone, so it's tough business down there. Tough business. You got to be able to run the football once you get down there. They did a good job of it all the way down once they got inside the 20, but then that Bears defense makes things tough on you.
Bosher angling it towards the sidelines. And Hester throws it out. There is a flag.
You know what, I think we had so many touchbacks during the preseason but everybody forgot how to block on kickoff return. That's got to be like our 5th flag.
It's getting a lost art.
During the return, illegal block in the back by the receiving team, number 21. Half the distance to the goal. Chicago keeps the ball. First down.
Not too hard, Tony. If you can see the guy's number, don't put your hands on his back. You see the name, let him go.
Top 2 seeds in the NFC last season. Bears leading the Falcons 16-6. 1st and 10 from the 8-yard line for Chicago. As Forte takes it up the middle, gain 7, down to the 15-yard line.
We talked to Mike Martz on Friday, and you know, one of the things he talked about with what this offense would be very good to be able to do is come out, soften everybody up in the beginning of the game with your passing game. 2nd year in his system, very confident that his wide receivers have taken that progression. Jay Cutler's taken that progression. Now come back and really start pounding the ball and let that offensive line come off. We saw a little bit of it on that last drive to end the 1st half, and it looks like we're going to get some more of that to start the 2nd half.
Cutler passed for over 200 yards, 222 to be exact. A number of big plays in that 1st half. Forte out to the 18-yard line, close to a first down.
It's Coach Martz upstairs. He's got to be very, very happy with how his team has played so far today. A lot of the things that he talked to us about on Friday we're actually witnessing here. But You stay with that running game. It hasn't been very productive for him throughout the first half, but that's how you're gonna take this time off this clock when you're up by 10 against Atlanta.
We're down to 1. The toss to Forte. With the newly acquired fullback Tyler Klutz leading the way. Bears picked him up from the practice squad of the Cleveland Browns this week.
And we got to get a nickname for Tyler. So all you Bears fans out there, you got to come up with something for Tyler. We can't be referring to him as a klutz playing the fullback spot. We need something.
Got to change his name.
Just something catchy.
Here's a defensive end goose at Fresno State. Played in the Arena League, the UFL, the CFL. And the Bears coaches are excited about him. Browns thought they could sneak him through on the practice squad. Starting for the Bears here on kickoff weekend. From the 19-yard line on first down, Cutler under pressure, then throws it out of bounds.
It's a good thing he didn't have time, because that's a play we saw earlier today. Roy Williams was wide open in that intermediate route, but it was Croy Bierman, number 71, getting upfield and hurrying this throw. Watch number 11, Roy Williams. They turn him loose again. Everybody goes deep with Devin Hester. We saw that play early in the first half. It was going to work again, but they didn't have time.
Williams with 3 receptions in the first half. You see Chris Spencer still at right guard for the injured Lance Lewis. Second down and 10. Bennett in motion. Forte finally tackled by Deku at the 46-yard line. He gains 27.
Your corner on the outside, as you squeeze in to make the tackle, you have got to have contained. You've got to come in and be square. Watch what Matt Forte does to Dante Robinson right here. Whoosh. You're the only one who can squeeze that ball back to the middle of the field where all your teammates are.
That's a heck of a cut, Darryl.
146 combined yards for Forte. Now 56 on the ground. 5 receptions for 90. Devin Hester. Hester inside the 30. You get the ball to Devin Hester's hands. Look what happens. Out of bounds inside the 1.
Not surprising right there that Devin Hester didn't get that ball inside the pylon. They got him marked short.
Nice blocking by Roy Williams. You saw number 11 right there on the outside.
Watch 32 Khalil Bell come in right here, Tony. There he is. Great hustle down the field.
Now, this was not ruled touchdown on the field, so it is not automatically reviewed. Lovie Smith would have to challenge, and he does throw the red flag. So Ed Hockley will take a look at it. Remember, plays that are ruled scores on the field are automatically reviewed upstairs. Coaches cannot challenge.
Chicago is challenging on the rule that the ball was down short of the goal line.
But Hester was ruled down inside the 1, so Lovie Smith uses his first challenge of this 2011 season. Back in Chicago, Devin Hester ruled down inside the 1. Bears have challenged, and Hockley has taken a look at it.
In order for the ball to be a touchdown, there has to be a shot where the ball is over the pylon. As there is no such shot. The ruling on the field stands as called. It's short of the goal. Chicago has charged the timeout.
Let's welcome in from Los Angeles, our rules analyst, Mike Pereira. Mike, what did you think?
Well, I'll tell you, this is a tough one because it's not really that airborne runner where you're talking about the guy diving over the pylon and having to get the ball over the top or inside the pylon. He's not out of bounds, actually, until he steps there with his left foot. So, you know, this is kind of one of those, I guess he felt he didn't have enough to overturn it, although I thought with the runner being in bounds, it was a touchdown.
All right, thanks, Mike. First and goal from the 1. Cutler to the end zone. Matt Spaeth, touchdown.
The Matt Spaeth fan club.
Or family members, perhaps.
Nah, he's got to have a fan club up there. All 3 of them. There he is at the end of the line of scrimmage. Just a quick move right there. I mean, sometimes you see him sell it, but look at Matt. He said, the heck with this. I'm going to swat this guy back, get in the corner of the end zone, get me a touchdown.
Gold adds the extra point. Matt Spaeth, for the last 4 seasons in Pittsburgh, his first catch as a member of the Bears. Chicago adds to their lead. Matt Spaeth, his first reception, first touchdown as a member of the Bears, who now lead 23-6. Eric Williams thought about taking it out. Takes a knee, first and 10 Atlanta from the 20.
Well, you take a look at this touchdown. I think that Croy Bierman lined up over top of Matt Spaeth has him in coverage, which is asking him to do a lot. He sees it at 2-point stance as a defensive end. He's inside. But look at the linebackers come up. Everybody else is coming up. They're going to flat. They're coming to quarterback. And Croy Bierman is the one turning around trying to get back in coverage. So that's tough duty for him right there.
Now the Falcons again start from their own 20. Falcons have started to drive in better field position than the 20 just once today. Off the play fake on first down. Ryan with loads of time. Then pressured. Pass was deflected by Nick Reed, and then Turner unable to make the catch.
Nick Reed, number 94. Good adjustment. Sees the guard pulling. Gets out. Continues to work. Never gets up on it, forces the throw. Another guy, a training camp guy who I'm sure the Bears probably didn't think was going to be on their roster, but had such an impressive camp. High motor guy, a guy that Rod Marinelli is absolutely going to love to have on his defensive line. They felt like they just couldn't get rid of him.
With Seattle 2 years ago out of the league last year. Ryan on second down. On at the 27-yard line by Roddy White, gain of 7.
This would be the time that you think that Atlanta would get back into this kind of hurry-up mode. We saw it in the first half. I mean, they're down 17 right here, and there's not a whole lot of urgency with 6:21 left in the third quarter.
Ryan on 3rd and 3. He chased, spins away from Peppers, who falls on the loose football. Now it's bouncing around and is taken in for a touchdown by Brian Urlacher.
Everybody walked up. They're only bringing 4 again, but this 4-man pressure has just wreaked havoc all day. Matt Ryan trying to make something happen, puts the ball on the ground. Brian Urlacher finishes it off. I mean, this is just vintage Bears team, not defense, but team. This is how this group functions.
Remember, every scoring play is reviewed. You saw it at Hercules buzzer. Touchdown has been confirmed. 4th of Brian Urlacher's career. On the 3rd Falcons turnover today. Goal the extra point. 30-6, Chicago. What a day for Brian Urlacher. 3 tackles, an interception, fumble recovery, and a touchdown.
I mean, a very athletic interception, great hustle on the fumble recovery for the touchdown, and again, this is how the Chicago Bears function. You know, great special teams today, tough defense, nothing's getting behind them. The offense is vastly improved from last year, just like Mike Martz told us he felt it would be.
Another kickoff out of the end zone by Gold.
Well, we've been waiting all game for that guy right there, Julio Jones, to go and be the explosive player that we thought he was going to be. Take a look at these stats right here. They're 1 for 1 on passes over 20 yards. Only 1 attempt. I mean, that is not what we expected coming into this game, Moose.
No, not at all. But again, you know, Chicago is not going to let you get something behind them. They're going to test your patience all afternoon long.
Ryan on first down, complete to Michael Turner, who has a first down and more out of bounds as he crosses the 40.
That's what you have to do more times than not. You can push people down the field, but the chance that they're going to be open against this style of defense is not very often. So you've got to check it down and hope you get yards after the catch on your shorter throws, and then try and frustrate the Bears to move up and make a mistake.
So there's a 20-yard reception, Goose.
I mean, Tony, their safeties right now are at 17 and 18 yards down the field.
Here's Turner. Turner out to the 42. With 5.5 remaining in this third quarter. And the Bears leading 30-6. Remember, the Falcons put together that 87-yard drive at the beginning of the second half, but had to settle for a field goal. The Bears then score 2 touchdowns in 57 seconds as Julio Jones makes the catch down to the Bears 26.
Matt Ryan does a great job of getting that ball off. I'll tell you what, Brian Urlacher was right in his face, but this is what you want to see, Julio Jones. There's not a player on the Bears team that has the speed that Julio Jones has. He's going to go down the field. You see the safety over the top, but Matt Ryan is good enough to go and put it in a place where he can go and get it. This guy has Chicago.
That's their first.
Here's Brian Urlacher right there. Boom, look at that. I mean, he's wide open. Matt Ryan does a great job of going and getting that ball off.
Bears use their first timeout. And we head to Los Angeles for a game break with Kurt.
The Detroit Lions hope Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson can keep hooking up like this. Second time today they score. 3 touchdown passes for Stafford. They lead 27-13. He's limping off the field in Tampa, but Kenny, Moose, and Goose, they're saying it's just cramps right now, so don't worry about him.
Yeah, they got to keep that guy healthy, huh?
every Detroit Lion fan just went,
I mean, I don't know how that didn't look like a good little hop there. He was like shuffling off.
We'll keep our eye on status of Matthew Stafford. Down in Tampa, first and 10 from the 26. Ryan to Ronnie White. Nothing. No gain, forced out of bounds by the combination of Tim Jennings and Nick Roach.
It's not, it looks to me, Darryl, watching Matt Ryan from down here on the field, it doesn't look like he's not trying to look downfield. You know, he's looking downfield and just doesn't see anybody open, and he's making those short, those short throws to his second read. Yeah,
when he's had the guys open down the field, I think he's taking his shots. You saw the last one to Julio Jones, but you got to credit the Bears defense.
Empty backfield here for the Falcons. White brings the tackle inside the 20 at the 18-yard line, gain of 8.
And I think it's something that he's aware of, Tony. When we talked to him on Saturday, he said, I've got to take that shot down the field. There's times in last year maybe I didn't do it as much, and he admitted it. Roddy White had talked about it, so he's conscious of the fact that he needs to be more aggressive with his decision-making. I just think he's being smart today and taking what the Bears are giving him.
They're not giving him much, I'll tell you that.
A late flag was thrown, guys.
After the play was over, a personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 83. It's a 15-yard penalty from the dead ball spot. The down counts. It's therefore third down.
That's on wide receiver Harry Douglas. Douglas involved with Brandon Merriweather, who was just signed a week ago after he was let go by the New England Patriots. Following the penalty now, 3rd down and 17. Falcons must get to the 16-yard line as this play is blown dead. Nick Reed jumped early.
You can see why they like his pass rushing skills. Boy, he was off the ball quick there.
Well, he's trying to time. You know, the center looks back and then his head comes up and he's kind of 1/1000 taking off.
False start offense. Number 61, the center, bobbed his head. 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
Nothing going right for the Falcons. Joe Hawley bobbed his head. He's making his first career start. Todd McClure, 144 consecutive starts. He is out following knee surgery, replaced by Hawley.
Yeah, and Tony talked about it at the top. We've got 2 guys making their first starts today. Joe Hawley at center, Garrett Reynolds at right guard, and his defensive line of the Chicago Bears is taking advantage of that. Kicking Julius Peppers inside now on Justin Blaylock.
3rd down and 22. Through the hands of Snelling.
Talk about keeping everything in front of you as a defense for the Chicago Bears. The linebackers 12 yards deep on that play. Look how deep Urlacher is right here in the middle of the field. I mean, he's dropping back. He's like 30 yards deep right now. They're trying to keep everything in front of him like Darryl talked about. Snelling just doesn't make this catch.
Bosher. A punt from midfield. Evan Hester back deep for the Bears. They have time. Hester lets it go, and it's down by Eric Weems at the 6-yard line. What a day for Brian Urlacher and the Bears. Bears all over the Falcons here in Chicago, 30-6. Next weekend on the FX Saturday Game of the Week, Charles Davis and Gus Johnson bring you all the action as Darryl's alma mater, the Syracuse Orange, take on Matt Barkley and Southern Cal. The FX Saturday College Football Game of the Week presented by Russell Athletic in high definition. Next weekend only on FX. Check local listings for the channel and start time in your area.
The defending Pinstripe Bowl champions, Tony.
The first ever Pinstripe Bowl played at Yankee Stadium. As Cutler hands it off to Khalil Bell. There is a flag.
Holding, offense, number 44. The penalty is declined. Brings up 2nd down.
Tyler Klutz.
So now he has to keep the name when he's holding. You got to call him the Klutz.
You got to either go with it, change it, or not change it, Darryl. Come on.
Well, come up with something. You've been down there.
Hey, listen, if you didn't come up with something by now, we should have changed it in college.
I like this. You said he looked like John Daly. I like that one. We could call him John Daly.
We saw him in practice, and he did resemble John Daly. I'll have to give it to you guys on that one. 2nd down and 10. Butler, pump fake. Now he throws, intended for Khalil Bell. As we head west, Kurt Menefee.
After a slow start, the Philadelphia Eagles looking like the Philadelphia Eagles. Michael Vick rolling to his left, hooking up with Deshaun Jackson. 2 touchdown passes for Vick. Jackson over 100 yards receiving, and the Eagles lead at 24-13 over St. Louis in the 3rd. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Next, Kurt, the Eagles. The next opponent for the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta next week.
Yeah, well, it doesn't get easier for either one of these teams.
Chicago must travel to New Orleans and then host Green Bay over the next 2 weeks. Cutler nearly sacked in the end zone. Pass was intended for Johnny Knox.
Wow, Jay got a huge hit.
Yeah, Lawrence Sidbury had a long run. Matched up against Kellen Davis coming off the outside. Boy, got to have a little bit more than that. I think he must have thought he had some help somewhere.
Butler sacked 3 times in the first half. Here's Podlesh hunting out of his end zone. Weems again lets it bounce, as we saw earlier. And it's down at the 43-yard line. 2:37 remaining, third quarter. The NFL holding a special auction today to benefit 9/11 charities. Autographed game-worn jerseys from today's game, along with today's game ball and other unique NFL items, will be auctioned to raise money for Tuesday's Children and My Good Deed. Visit NFL.com/auction today to bid on the items.
Might be a good chance to get an Urlacher jersey today, Goose. Little interception, only 4 touchdowns in his career, one of them today. That might be another one out there people are interested in.
How about the referee, Ed Hockley? It's a nice jersey right there with the tight arms. You don't have to do any curls.
Slant is short, intended for Roddy White. How about your shirt, Goose? Will you put your game shirt from today's game up for auction?
Absolutely, Kenny. Anybody wants to buy this, feel free.
First bid is already in.
It's a little warm down here. I'm sweating a little bit, but I will leave the perspiration and everything right in there for you.
That adds value. It's appreciating as you're speaking, Goose. Price is just going
the bottom up, stuff it a little bit, be a pillow. Nice. King size.
Now 2nd and 10. Pass is caught by Gonzalez. It takes Tillman and Urlacher. Bring him down.
And Tony, you know, one of the things you mentioned earlier today is because of this defensive line being able to consistently get pressure with 4, they haven't had to blitz a lot. They haven't had to drop that safety down in to help them support the run, and that allows them to stay in that cover 2 defense that makes it really, really difficult for this Atlanta team to take advantage in their passing game.
Yeah, remember when you have that extra safety, free safety back there in cover 2, you only have 7 guys on the line of scrimmage.
Nice catch, and juggling catch is made by Roddy White at the Bears 44 for an Atlanta first down.
You don't get many chances here to get 2 touches on a ball.
That's great concentration right there. So the Bears defense, how they all run to the ball.
Forced 3 turnovers today, Goose. Moving to 14, Chicago points. Number 44 on first down. Ryan moving to his right, chased by Peppers. And Peppers takes his helmet off as he brings him down out of bounds.
I just wonder why people don't remember the closing speed of Julius Peppers. You know, from the middle of the field to the sideline. He's so athletic for his size. Just throw it away, Matt. I mean, he is coming down the line of scrimmage 100 miles an hour.
Tried to strip the ball as well. Loss of 2 on the play, 2nd down and 12. And this time, Ryan taken down by Amobi Okoye, the former Houston Texan. 3rd Chicago sack.
Coming in from that area that you talked about, Tony.
Right up the middle.
Yeah, well, you know, center, right guard. You know, that's the area that you felt that they were going to test.
Yeah, Joe Hawley just gets caught on his heels a little bit. You got to keep your hips low and stay right next to your guard and build the wall. We talked about it on the outside, but as soon as you turn those shoulders, you open up a gate right to the quarterback.
3rd down and 20. 3rd quarter winding down. As Lions pass intended for Harry Douglas. And that will bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter here in Chicago. Bears led 16-3 at the half. An early Atlanta field goal. Pass officially ruled incomplete. So when we return, Falcons will punt it away. Bears with 2 touchdowns in 57 seconds.
It's 4th down, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter.
There's Urlacher, who scored the last Chicago touchdown, also had an interception back in the first quarter. We'll return after these messages from your local Fox station. Back in Chicago, Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony to 6 as we start the fourth quarter. Bosher to punt for Atlanta. Esther waiting. Punt nearly blocked. Angled towards the sideline. Away from Hester. And is down at the 10. Chance at USA here at Soldier Field. Just moments ago between quarters. What a great scene. Back at Soldier Field on September 11th, 2011.
There you go. Some chest bumps and some high fives. Now the crowd getting a chance to thank the soldiers.
Bears leading 30-6. Start from their own 10-yard line. Forte makes something out of nothing. Gain of 6.
And this is exactly the way that Mike Martz scripted to it, what he would like to do. He was impressed by the way that Green Bay played on Thursday night, kind of in a similar fashion. Come out with the passing game in the beginning, build your lead, and then come back and really run the ball, take time off the clock, limit the opportunities from the opposition. And he has followed that recipe to a T here this afternoon. Executed really, really well by Jay Cutler in the first half, throwing the football, and now it looks like they're getting ready to turn it over to Matt Forte.
152 combined yards so far today. Looking down at 4. Here is Forte, picks up a first down. Out to the 21-yard line.
Well, going into this game, I had 2 question marks with both of these offensive line. And although we've seen Gabe Karimi go and have his bumps in the road, Roberto Garza, the center for the Chicago Bears, is playing, had an unbelievable game so far. And right there, there's Gabe Karimi. I mean, he's going to need a little bit of time, Darryl, like we all did when we were rookies, but he'll be okay. But they've really done a good job as a group compared to the Atlanta Falcons. They have a lot of problems on that Atlanta offensive line right now.
Gabe Karimi, the Outlet Trophy winner last season in Wisconsin. Best interior lineman in all of college football. Roy Williams. Williams picks up another first down. And he comes up hobbling. Gain of 13. Despite the injury, signals first down.
We've seen some poor tackling by the Atlanta Falcons today. Slipping a lot, overplaying, not being in good position to stay in front of the man with the ball.
Still wanted to make sure that they gave that first down signal to the officials just to help out.
Just in case they weren't sure, right, Goose?
Just in case.
3 wide receiver set. Sanzenbacher in the slot. As Cutler fires to Johnny Knox for a Bears first down at the Falcons 48, gain of 17.
Jay Cutler finally showing a little smile, having a little bit of fun. Brian Van Gorder, he hasn't been able to keep up with his Bears offense during the course of the afternoon.
Not many smiles from Cutler during that NFC Championship game. Lost to the Packers here at Soldier Field, but a terrific opener. 15th career 300-yard game. Over the middle, and there's a flag, 2 flags. Vaughn Weatherspoon up over the back to get a piece of it.
Pass interference defense, number 56. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Mike Martz still staying aggressive here with this big lead. He hasn't really gone to that 4-minute style offense where you're going to come in and pound the ball and take time off the clock. Running an empty set there. Jay Cutler with a big throw on the play before that.
From the Falcons 44. Cutler throws, and the catch is made on his knees by Matt Spaeth. He caught a touchdown pass back in the third quarter, gain of 6. Second down and 4 for Chicago. 3 wide receivers set. Williams still on the sideline. And Cutler will use a timeout.
Timeout, Chicago. That's their third.
That shot says it all from a Falcon standpoint.
Really does. 2 of the guys that were looking to have big days this afternoon in the passing game, and there's the flip side of that. The other side, Bears all smiles.
And now it will be a direct snap to Earl Bennett, who hands it off to Matt Forte. Not much. Well, the last time most of the nation saw Jay Cutler in action, he would leave the NFC Championship game early in the third quarter with an injury that set off a firestorm of criticism.
Yeah, and these are actual headlines from the local papers here in Chicago. So, again, we talked about his maturity over the course of the summer. You know, came in good shape, had done a lot with the guys because they weren't allowed to be around the coaches in the facility, organized some activities, you know, stepped up in a leadership role, and we're seeing a lot of that.
Pass was batted by Abraham, and this is Croy Bierman, chased by Kellen Davis, and Bierman takes it in. And had the ball knocked away, but it was ruled a touchdown. He crossed the plane, so Abraham batted the pass from Cutler, and then Croy Bierman, who will turn 26 years of age tomorrow with an early birthday present, a Falcons defensive touchdown.
Well, they brought in Ray Edwards to bring pressure from the other side, but you can't forget about Croy Bierman. He had a similar play last year, extremely athletic as a defensive end. Some good speed right here, great help from his teammates. Good hustle by Earl Bennett, got there just a little bit late. There he is, he's in the end zone, broke the plane. I mean, that's a stride or two, just a little bit too late. Good hustle by Earl Bennett.
Let's go, try.
And now the Falcons will go for 2.
Looks like the Falcons got a little bit of breath of life on the sideline. Something that the Chicago Bear team didn't want to do.
That touchdown last year, Darrell, came against Cleveland. He returned an interception, 31 yards. Ryan taken down from behind by the combination of Peppers, and then Idonije finished him off. Croy Bierman with the interception and the Atlanta touchdown. Happy birthday, Croy. Well, that 50-yard interception for a touchdown by Croy Bierman has quieted the crowd here in Chicago, but the Bears still lead by 18.
And we were just kind of talking about it at the time. You know, we expected Chicago to get into more of a grinded out style. They came out with, they started throwing, ran some empty sets, and definitely backfired on them right there with that interception by Croy Bierman for the touchdown. So better be alert for the onside here.
Tees it up at the 35. No onside kick from the Falcons into the end zone. Hester will not come out. Finally takes it in.
Like Ed Hockley made a decision for him. He didn't want to take a knee. Like Devin Hester wanted to go and run some of the clock down a little bit. We weren't having that.
There's Troy Bierman. Still breathing hard. Bears start from their own 20. Roy Williams, groin injury. He will not return today. As the Bears keep it on the ground on first down, Khalil Bell out to the 24. Gain of 4.
You can be aggressive, but still at least show the formation that you're going to run. That's why, you know, Tony and I were talking. I was surprised to see him in that empty set during that stage of a game when you've got the big lead. You're just trying to take time off the clock. You can get into some run formations and still have the ability to throw the ball. But we'll see if Lovie Smith called up to Coach Martz and said, "Hey, let's be a little bit more conservative on this next drive."
From the 24, the toss to Bell. Tried to cut it back inside. Ran into the arms of Curtis Lofton.
There's some big athletic guys. We've talked about the size of the Chicago offensive line, but it's not just straight ahead. They're pulling too. They want to take advantage of these big tight ends on the edges. They feel that they can block one-on-one with the defensive ends. They can get the guard in the center out and around. They want to get their running backs on the edges for the bigger plays in the run game.
They're pulling Roberto Garza sometimes too, the center. See a lot of.
Garza, a former Falcon, 3rd down and 7. Cutler in trouble. Gets the pass away, and it's caught by Bell, who picks up a first down. Cutler on the verge of being sacked. And there was a late flag thrown as well after Bell picked up first down yardage.
Holding, offense number 73. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat, 3rd down.
Left tackle, Jamarcus Webb.
Working on the outside with John Abraham. Starts to beat him around the corner. He pulls him down. You see a little good movement by Jay Cutler in that pocket there to buy himself a little bit of time. Steps up, dumps it off short to Khalil Bell, who does the rest for him, but it all for naught.
So instead of a first down, it will be 3rd and 17 from the 13-yard line. 8.5 remaining, 4th quarter here in Chicago. Bears leading by 18. Cutler quick out to Devin Hester. And it's Lofton again. Led the Falcons tackles a year ago, and Bears will punt it away.
Fool me once, can't fool me twice, though. That same play of Devin Hester on the outside, giving him a little bit of open space, but that Atlanta Falcons defense recognized it and crowd them right up.
Kind of that conservative play call we're talking about, though, Tony. Get it into Devin Hester's hands on the outside. You never know what he's going to do. He might make somebody miss and get you enough yardage for that first down in that situation.
Eric Williams awaiting the punt from Adam Podlesh. Williams takes it up to 43, and he is met immediately by Graham. Matt Ryan of the Falcons back on offense when we return to Chicago. Best starting field position of the day for the Atlanta Falcons. 1st and 10 from their own 45. Midway through the 4th quarter, 18-point game. Lions pass deflects away from Julio Jones.
Even when they get him open, they've been having trouble making that connection right there. Good route design. You had Harry Douglas working the underneath, pull some guys up, create some space for Julio Jones. Just couldn't hold on to that catch.
He was in full stride, too.
Jones 4 catches today in his first regular season game in the NFL. 2nd and 10. Ryan steps up, dumps it off. There's a flag. Chris Rogers makes the catch and gains 3.
Holding
coming back.
Offense number 72. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Left tackle Sam Baker.
Well, you really felt it was going to be the offensive lines that determined the winner of this game today, Tony, and you really got to hand it to Chicago. You know, both sides of the ball, their offensive line, you know, like you pointed out, spotty from time to time, but overall pretty consistent. And this Chicago defensive line has really just kind of overwhelmed Atlanta's offensive line.
The pressure with the 4 we talked about again. Look right here, they got 4 down linemen right here. You know it's going to be 4 on 5.
Ryan on 2nd and 20. Lobs it to Rogers. Rogers picks up 11.
Can't say enough about that Bears defense, though. Tell you what, they came right off of last year, didn't skip a beat. Brian Urlacher, great game. They're playing like a well-oiled unit. Bring the pressure once again.
On cue, Tony.
Henry Melton.
Sack number 5 for Chicago. They forced 3 turnovers. And the 5th sack of Matt Ryan.
And as Tony pointed out, when you're only rushing 4, that allows you to have the other 7 in the secondary. Look downfield at what Matt Ryan is looking at. There's nobody there. And just, I mean, they have been relentless up front.
Henry Melton, 2nd sack. Julius Peppers has 2. Brian Urlacher with an interception, as well as a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Hester calls for a fair catch at the 28. With 6:05 remaining, Bears leading 30-12. 3 turnovers committed by the Falcons, leading to 14 Chicago points. Big day for both Matt Forte and Jay Cutler. 15th career 300-yard game, as well as Brian Urlacher.
Yeah, exactly. All 3 having a big day today. And, you know, I think the big thing, the disappointing thing for Atlanta, the turnovers, because that was really one of the keys in that tough playoff loss to Green Bay in the divisional round last year. 2 critical turnovers by Atlanta. They start the season this year, first game, with some critical turnovers as well.
Here's Khalil Bell on 1st down, big hole. Bell into Falcons territory, finally brought down by William Moore. There's a flag back at the 34-yard line. Bell gains 26. But this one looks to be against the Bears.
Looks like Curtis Lofton got mugged.
Offense number 73. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
Marcus Webb again.
He's having a tough go of it the last few series.
You know, Darryl, you mentioned Atlanta's lost to Green Bay in the postseason. Both of these teams lost to the Packers in the playoffs. People tend to forget the Bears won the division last year. They won 11 games. Green Bay 10-6. Needed to win on the final Sunday of the regular season just to make the postseason. Packers go on to win the Super Bowl, but the Bears are the defending division champs, and they are sending a message to the rest of the league today.
Well, loud and clear. We touched on it at the top. Atlanta still continues to be mentioned among the NFC elite going into the season. With New Orleans, with Green Bay, Atlanta was one of those teams. And Chicago not getting the notoriety, but I agree, Kenny. They sent a huge message today.
Butler lost the football and then falls on it. As we head west to Kurt.
Well, don't forget the Philadelphia Eagles. Everyone talking about them and the Eagles living up to the hype. But Sean McCoy, big hole, 1 cut. 49 yards. He's got a receiving touchdown and a rushing touchdown. And he's over 100 yards today. 31-13, they lead in St. Louis. Kenny Lewis from this.
That's pretty impressive by the Philadelphia Eagles. That should silence, you know, some of the people who are wondering, you know, how is all this talent going to come together as a team? Is it just me, or does Sean McCoy look extremely fast this year?
Yeah,
Holy smokes.
Second down and 16, Khalil Bell. Under 5 minutes remaining as the Falcons take a timeout. Atlanta with 1 timeout remaining. This game was tied at 3 back in the first quarter when Cutler hit Forte and he took it 56 yards for a Bears touchdown.
Yeah, just a great job, and you're watching this first half, and it was all Bears football. You know, great defense, special teams giving them field position. Matt Spaeth there with a touchdown catch. The defense has been there all day long. Julius Peppers flushes him out of the pocket. Matt Ryan puts it on the ground. Brian Urlacher there to scoop it up and run it in. But all these different facets of the Bears and how they function as a team, not really there in preseason, but no concerns from Brian Urlacher. He told us Friday, listen, that's preseason. We don't show a lot. We're expecting to have sacks. We're expecting to have turnovers once the season starts, and he was absolutely correct.
Third down at 11 for Cutler and the Bears. That pass intended for Hester nearly picked off by Weatherspoon, so now Chicago will punt.
A lot of opportunities for today and for Atlanta to change this game. Thomas Deku had a chance for an early interception. He had another opportunity to keep points off the board. Chicago kicked a field goal, but an opportunity to get an interception in the end zone. They've been in position to make plays, but continually throughout the afternoon, Atlanta has not made those plays.
Fielded by Weems at the 26. Penalty marker.
During the return, illegal block in the back by the receiving team number 44. That's a 10-yard penalty. Atlanta keeps the ball. First down.
So with 4:42 remaining, it will be Falcons football. And Darryl, if you're Mike Smith, Philadelphia upcoming next week. You didn't win a game in the preseason, which of course doesn't mean anything as far as the records go, but a game like this today, what will your message be to the team?
Well, I think it was a concern for Mike Smith that they didn't win a game in the preseason, and then after the way they played today, it's going to be very disappointing because you've got Philadelphia coming into town. We've been seeing the highlights during the course of the afternoon at 31-13 against St. Louis. Now you've got a really explosive team. You came into this game, you know, looking at Chicago and you know, they're going to run the football, they're going to throw some play action, but we feel we can match up. You know, Philadelphia is going to throw an entirely different dimension at you, and defensively, you know, they have struggled today with Chicago's offense. And I wouldn't say they're as high-powered as Philadelphia by any stretch of the imagination.
How about you, Goose? You played for Mike Smith. You know him well. What would you expect as a player following a game such as this one?
I don't know. I think he had big expectations. I thought that with the weapons that they had, that we'd see a lot more explosiveness downfield, a lot more, you know, taking chances with Matt. You know, he's in his 4th year. You would think that he would have a little bit more confidence. For some reason, you know, we just didn't see that today. I think that Mike will go and say, hey, listen, let's get this one past us. Played a great defense, but we got to get better. And, you know, we got some time. Here's Julio Jones going down.
Jones picks up a first down into Bears territory. Jones gains 28. Keep in mind, guys, the Falcons, as we take another look. Ryan hitting Jones for the 5th time today.
Charles Tillman moved off the route that was coming in behind him. There was a corner route coming in behind him on that hitch. He moved towards that. That got him out of position and allowed Julio Jones to make him miss. And that's one of the things that you don't normally see. You don't see a Bears player trying to make a play that's not his responsibility and then having a missed tackle.
Ryan over the top to Rodgers. Keep in mind that the Falcons did lose their season opener last year in overtime in Pittsburgh, 15-9. Went on to win 13 of their next 15 games.
Well, I just think they need to keep this in perspective. This is a defense that is not going to allow you to do what I think a lot of Falcons fans hoped they were going to see today. They wanted to see a different style of offensive football here. They wanted to see Julio Jones and Harry Douglas down the field, Roddy White, Michael Turner, Tony Gonzalez. They've got a lot of weapons here, but Brian Urlacher told us, listen, we feel like we match up well. We have respect for them, but we play Green Bay twice a year, and I'll stack up their skill positions against anybody.
False start offense, number 75, 5-yard penalty. First down.
So just don't panic. Next week against Philadelphia with Juan Castillo, you're going to have more of an aggressive man-to-man. You're going to have your opportunities next week to take shots down the field. Just understand how good this defense played this afternoon. Hopefully Todd McClure is able to come back. I think that Joe Hawley, you know, today with some of these guys in his first career start, that's a tough duty for him. That's a tough job. You know, he and Garrett Reynolds both are going up against one of the best defensive lines in football when you talk about the ability to get pressure on your quarterback with 4 guys.
Yeah, but when you get that pressure like that, now you open a can of worms. Now every team is going to be going after Hawley and Reynolds because they feel like they can go and win one-on-one against those guys. So they're going to have to prove not only to Mike Smith and their team that they can get the job done, they're going to have to go and stop people from going and getting pressure up the middle, or they're going to see it week in and week out. And there's a lot of good defensive tackles in there. They're going to put a lot of pressure on Matt. And going to restrict him from throwing the ball downfield.
Before the pass was thrown, illegal hands to the face by the defense number 26. That's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down. It does not matter whether the pass is catchable. It happened before the pass.
That's Tim Jennings letting the hands up on Roddy White.
But Tony, you have to keep in your mind that this has been done with 4 guys. You know, people may want to bring pressure with the other teams, Philadelphia, with a 5 or a 6-man. When you do that, now you don't have those 7 defenders behind you being able to keep the ball in front and play zone coverage. You're going to get opportunities for one-on-ones.
Ryan fires. That pass intended for Harry Douglas.
They need to find an identity, though, on the offensive line. You know, we went to Atlanta a bunch of times and they had Dahl there. They had an attitude, and that's something that I just don't feel down here. And I question, their offensive line there in Atlanta. They need some kind of an attitude. They got to come together and try to solidify and give Matt a little bit more time in the pocket to get his work done.
Harvey Dahl now a St. Louis Ram, replaced by Garrett Reynolds at right guard. 2nd and 10. Was in trouble. Pass was short. Intended for Rodgers as Ryan winds up on his back.
There's more pressure right there. I mean, Matt's not going to make it through the season. They're rushing 4 players. You got 5 on 4. They're moving. They're not stopping. I mean, and he gets killed there at the end of the play.
And this is a tough one here because he gets caught in between Henry Melton and Julius Peppers.
Malachi crunch right there from Fonzie. I mean, you can't, Matt's not going to make it through the season if he gets hit this many times.
What a shot he took from Peppers and Melton. Falcons use their final timeout. Mike Smith asking Ryan if he's okay.
He's one of the most competitive people to be around. He's not coming in.
Well, coming up next, game 2 of our doubleheader, America's Game of the Week. Many of you will see the NFC East matchup between the New York Giants and the Washington Redskins, with Peyton Manning's streak coming to an end today. Consecutive starts by a quarterback. Number 1 on the list is now his brother, Eli, at 103.
I mean, and that's awesome right there. There's some leadership from your quarterback right there. I mean, he just took a big hit. And he's just telling you guys, come on, hold up, let's finish this game. And that's, you want to be recognized as a team that regardless of the score, that they're going to play this game to the end, all 60 minutes.
From the 16 on 3rd down. Ryan wrapped up once again. What a day for this Bears defense.
They just haven't been able to slow this rush down. Screens, draws, something. Watch these 4 guys come off the ball. I mean, they're dominating inside. It's not just one guy either. It's all 4 of them pushing the pocket.
That was Justin Blaylock in that last time.
Ryan hit 14 times, 5 sacks for the Bears. Falcons lead their offense on the field. 4th down and 10. to his right, chased by Melton. Throws to the end zone, and it's out of the back of the end zone. So the Bears will take over on downs with 2:42 on the clock, leading his season opener by 18. Well, Fox's football coverage doesn't end when the games are over. Stick around for the OT. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy will bring you extended highlights, expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and a look ahead to next week's action. America's #1 postgame show, the OT, presented by Lowe's tonight after a special sneak preview of the X Factor only on Fox. Khalil Bell out to the 20. The Chicago Bears with a 30-12 lead. Bears led 16-3 at the half. 2 touchdowns in a 57-second span. In the third quarter, the second scored by the man who's now blocked by Anthony Adams. There he is, Brian Urlacher.
He just had a great day today and playing at a very high level again to start the 2011 season. Picking up right where he left off in 2010. He still loves the game. Look at the passion that he has for the game. That's the thing that impresses me the most about guys who are, 10 years, 12 years, 13 years in this league is how much passion they still have for this game.
We've hit the 2-minute warning here in Chicago on 9/11. Bears lead 30-12. Two minutes remaining here in Chicago. 2nd and 6 for the Bears from their own 20. The toss goes to Khalil Bell. He loses 3 yards. Well, it's kickoff weekend, an exciting day of football around the NFL. We will have 4 more late games coming up on Fox. And for those of you in the home markets of those teams who will play in America's Game of the Week, don't worry. In a short while, we'll get you there in time for the 9/11 ceremonies and the opening kickoff. And we thank you for sticking with us from Soldier Field in Chicago. The Bears and the Falcons.
Not what we thought. Not what we thought. I mean, this is the #1 seed, the #2 seed from the playoff last year in the NFC, and not a lot of people talking about the Chicago Bears coming into the 2011 season, but they'll be talking about them next week.
Most points scored by the Bears in a season opener in 16 years. Scored 31 against the Vikings in '95 as Cutler slides down at the 15-yard line. Jay Cutler has thrown for 312 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Matt Forte, 90 yards receiving, 68 on the ground, 158 in all. And Brian Urlacher and the defense outstanding as well. And for those of you in the home markets of the late games, in a moment you will be leaving us as we will switch you to the 9/11 ceremonies and the start of your game. Bears use the entire play clock. Great job by our entire crew here in Chicago. Our producer Barry Landis, director Michael Frank, associate directors Jeremy Green and Chirag Devaskar, broadcast associate Joe Wheeler, our technical producer Sid Drexler, and the technical director Damon McGavick. The rest of our crew who have been setting up for a couple of days for this season opener.